Mr. Piles.
Hey, Rob.
You want to know how to invent a business in 5 minutes?
Yes, this is very intriguing.
All right, so I'm going to Amazon.com right now, and I'm just looking. In product areas, and you could pay somebody $5,000 to teach you how to do this, and that's fine. But I want you to look like in the toys section. If you're listening to the podcast, I want you to look in the toys section. And the best seller that comes up in the toys section is Cards Against Humanity. It must be a card game for adults. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking down through toys, and there's controllers for video games. There's a bunch of balloons, water balloons. There's Toad Amiibo. There's Gazillion Bubble Hurricane Machine, so bubble machine. Link Amiibo. I don't know what an Amiibo is, but I think it goes with a Nintendo wireless controller. There's Jenga. There is a bunch of different stuff, and you can look up toys, toys interest, animals and nature, fashion, learning. And what I want you to do is look at some of the best-selling toys on here that hopefully can't be swallowed by a baby, and things along those nature. And you could find something, jewelry. There's grown-up toys, novelty and gag toys, basic lifestyle toys. I want you to look around on Amazon and look at best-selling products. I want you to look at best-selling products that just are something that you could envision making yourself. Did you know that for a really, really small amount of money on a variety of different websites, Jason, you can have exact replicas of those products made in China and shipped to you and drop shipped from Amazon? Did you know you could do that?
I didn't, because I thought there would be an issue with like copyright or patents and stuff.
Yeah, so, and essentially, no, there's not. I mean, you can't use another business's name. You can't use a logo for a famous business. You can't make an umbrella that has the Coca-Cola logo on it. But if you're the kind of person that loves physical products, we talked about this in our last episode. If you're the kind of person that loves to think about making something physical and selling it, you don't have to pay somebody $5,000 to learn how to do that. You don't have to do that. What I want you to think about I want you to spend a day brainstorming things that are physical that you can build. When we come back on our next episode, we're going to talk about intangible business ideas, website business ideas that you can start for less than $1,000 or $2,000. Today, however, I want to brainstorm with you, Jason. I want to brainstorm some things that people may not have ever thought about building before that could be pretty incredible.
Okay.
I heard a podcast about a week ago starring James Altucher and the founder of Freelancer.com. And somebody that used Freelancer.com wanted to build a giant blow-up swan for his pool because he was going to have a big party in his pool.
Yeah,
and
nice.
So he decided to go to Freelancer.com, and for less than $1,000, he had all the it was less than $200. He had the specifications built that a factory would need for building a giant blow-up swan. And then he bought $5,000 worth of those swans and then created a website called GiantSwan.com. Giant Swan or GiantSwans.com. Let's see which one he did. And they're all over the place now. He built this website, and that was his thing. And now he doesn't, there it is, giantswan.com.au. And it's a giant pool toy, and there's a picture of a woman laying on this giant swan. And I want one. I want one of these.
The swan is nice too.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Sorry.
No, you understood me. No, just kidding. Swan's Gone Wild. There's Swan's Gone Wild. And it's it is just amazing. And there's all these pictures of people laying on these giant swans in these pools. And there's all these pictures of people having a great time sitting on top of these giant swans. And I thought to myself, this is incredible. This is incredible. And he now doesn't do anything. All he has is a website that ships them, but he doesn't ship them himself. And he doesn't even do anything. There's nothing that he does. It's $99. He doesn't make them. He doesn't ship them. He has a website where if you do an order, it goes to the company. He had another company on Freelancer.com build the box. Now, I don't know why that you can't make a giant for you, for the horror movie podcast, I don't know why you couldn't make a giant horror movie character that goes in the pool.
That's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
I love it.
It's amazing. It's a totally amazing and completely ridiculous idea. Or why does it have to be a giant swan? Does it have to be a giant swan?
Yeah, I mean, a swan is kind of, tame.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see making something crazy like a giant squid. You know what I mean? Like something scary-ish.
A giant squid. That is so awesome. I don't know if they make one. Let's look it up. Giant squid pool toy.
My son would love that.
No one's doing it. No. It's not done. It hasn't been done.
See, there we go. We got a business.
There was a woman who made a mermaid tail. Sold for $100, and you bought a mermaid tail for your daughter or whatever. She put it on, and she could swim under the pool with a mermaid tail on. And then what happened was a bunch of women who did not acting jobs but party jobs as a Disney princess from The Little Mermaid bought they bought it, and so she made bigger ones so that a grown-up woman could buy it and then go to parties and be a mermaid at a kid's party. You would be absolutely shocked at all the things that you can have done like this. If you like physical products, remember my neighbor that built laptop batteries. Mm-hmm. Go to the Apple store, go inside and say, what is the best selling accessory for a MacBook Pro or a MacBook? What's the best accessory for the iPhone 6 Plus? What's the best selling accessory? And then think about what it is that you can do or add to that accessory. Now, you're taking a risk, theoretically, when you build a physical product. Doesn't it sound like a scary thing to do?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But what you want to think about is, what is it that you want? What is it that you would love to have for your phone? I would love to have a really thin battery case for my iPhone 6 Plus. A really thin one. It doesn't have to charge it more than one full charge, but it has to be thin. And no one's built a really good version of that yet. No one's done that. And the shape of the iPhone 6 Plus is going to remain the same for quite some time to come. And so I would like someone to build me a really thin battery case for the iPhone 6 Plus that also has, and here's where you get a little bit different. Super bright colors. So whatever color iPhone 6 Plus that you get, it's got a super bright color on it, or whatever it is like that. That's easy to think about. And you go into the store and you say, what is it that's selling really well? It can be, go ask a teenager and say, what physical object do you use the most in your life? It's probably going to be their phone. What is it that you wish your phone would do? What is it that you wish you could have that combined with your phone? What is it? Think about the Apple Watch, for example. The Apple Watch is a device that connects to your phone and that works off of your phone and talks to your phone. Well, what kind of device could a teenager wear or have that would connect to their iPhone, that would do something special? What I don't even know what that is, but think about it for a minute. What would be a device that someone would pair with their phone that would do something special? Fitness devices are huge. Those kinds of devices are going to be big, and Apple's going to own that product category. But it's not the only thing you can wear that could pair up with your iPhone. It's not the only thing that you could do with that. There's a lot of other things that you could do that could pair up with your phone. You could do a breathalyzer that pairs up with your phone. You could blow into an object, it could get a reading, and it could communicate with the phone about what that reading is.
Oh, wow.
Now, I don't think anybody's built that. And even if anybody has built that, I think it's an incredible. I went out with a bunch of people one night, and people had these breathalyzers that they were blowing into, and they were giving readings, and they said, but the readings are largely they're not believable. The readings are way off, and so you don't really know what your reading really is, and it's only good for a number of breaths and whatever else. That's not the only thing that you could do, and I keep talking about this, Jason, but. Think about barbecuing in the summer. What is it that you wish that you had for your barbecue that a lot of people don't have? Well, the handle on my barbecue gets really, really hot. And so if I'm not wearing a mitt or whatever, and I got to pull up my barbecue, I got to wrap my hand around my shirt and pull it up. You could build something for a barbecue that it's a cool grip handle for your barbecue. You could build a meat thermometer that communicates with your iPhone. You could build. The opportunities are limitless when you think about your pool. You can think about a temperature gauge for your pool that sends you a message when your pool is a certain temperature. You could send. You could build something that automatically communicates with your air conditioning unit in your house. As long as your air conditioning thermostat came with a remote, you can build actually something that is, if it's already infrared, it can communicate with your iPhone. If it's already infrared, it can already communicate with your iPhone, because you could build a small device in your house that communicates with that remote, and then the remote can talk to that infrared device, and that infrared device can hook up to your Wi-Fi, and it can send a thing to your phone, and then your phone can talk to the infrared device, it can talk to the remote, and then it can talk to your thermostat. And you could literally build something that doesn't use Nest and doesn't use all those other products out there. You don't have to buy a new thermostat for your house. You can buy a little device that talks to the remote that you already have. Your garage door opener has a remote, so you could already build something that says, is my garage door open? You can already build. There are so many different things, Jason, that someone could build. And I'm not saying any of those ideas are groundbreaking. You could build pool toys that light up. You could build a pool toy that makes a fountain in the middle of your pool. You can build a pool toy that is a cooler, and at the same time it's a blow-up toy, so you can keep drinks cold in the middle of your pool. I'm not even thinking of good ideas right now. But Jason, do you have any ideas as you're thinking about this?
Wow, I'm kind of in a whirlwind here, Rob. That astounds me. Yeah, I mean that's really amazing, because there are so many products around that you're like, that seems so simple. How did somebody come up with that? And now they're rich. It's crazy to me. And I guess I think I fall into the category that a lot of people fall into, Rob, which is you think that everything has been thought of.
That's right.
And that's really a terrible way to think about it, because really, what's that quote about necessity is the mother of invention or whatever. Right. So you just look around and see what you need, like with your barbecue handle that you were talking about. Yeah, you just think about what you need and then try to implement that.
Think about the parts inside of a Heil microphone. I'm speaking on a Heil microphone, and so are you.
Mm-hmm.
It is the world-class choice for all podcasters that are definitely serious about doing this as a profession.
Mm-hmm.
I'm connected to a USB Pre 2, which is an $800 to $900 product that's available at B&H Photo. And what that does is my microphone plugs into that, and that plugs into my computer. You're speaking into a Heil microphone that is connected to a mixing board, which is connected to a gate, which is connected to your computer, which is also connected to a digital recorder, which records the episode that you're doing right now and whatever else.
Yes.
What your setup allows you to do is play music on your computer, which is fed back into the audio of the mixer, which is fed back into my speakers as well, which is also recorded on the episode. Now, just for a moment here, your setup costs over $1,000. My setup cost over $1,000. What if you and I made a contest on Freelancer, because you can make a contest and you say, I want a microphone built to the same inner specifications of a Heil microphone, and I want a USB Pre 2 sound device built that is built to the same specifications, and I want it to have fewer inputs. I don't need as many inputs. Or I want a dual microphone that works like a Heil but has two microphones sticking out of it. So you can sit, right across from each other. I want it to be collapsible. I want a Heil microphone that's collapsible inside of a case that travels well with me, that has a built-in USB Pre 2. What the USB Pre 2 is, and what your mixer does, Jason, is it powers your microphone so that your microphone actually has volume. If I spoke into this microphone, if it weren't plugged into this USB Pre 2, there'd be no volume to it. What this does is it amplifies and powers the microphone. So why can't I build a collapsible microphone that has an amplifier or the Pre thing built into it, and it's all one product built into one object, and it plugs right into my Mac? And why can't I build all that right into one? And why can't I daisy chain that so I could plug another one right into that one, and they would all go into the Mac at the same time? Why couldn't I do that? Why couldn't I do a daisy chain setup to make a podcaster's life on the road easier? There's no reason why I couldn't build a microphone for podcasters that doesn't cost so much money. What if it costs $99 and it's a great dynamic microphone that has another microphone that extends out from it as a clip-on lavalier microphone. So I'm talking into a microphone on the road, and my subject can just wear a lavalier microphone, and they're daisy chained and they go into the computer. So you can go on the road, take your microphone, plug somebody in next to you, and the equipment setup is reasonably small. What if you just built a lavalier microphone for on-the-road podcasters that can click right into the computer? There's no reason why you can't do that. And every solution that's out there right now doesn't work very well, and you have to plug one wire into another wire, and it's not a complete setup. Wow. You could literally build one that's you could have 4 people hooked up to a lavalier microphone that plugs in one time to the computer. You could go on the road and have a panel discussion with people that plug right into the computer. That's not been built yet, and that product could sell for $49, and it would sell a gazillion. You would sell a gazillion of those, and it doesn't exist right now.
That's amazing. Yeah, you just need to find someone with the talent to build to those specifications, right?
You just go on Freelancer and you say, this is what I want to build, and I want to hold a competition, and I'll pay the winner $500 to build me the specifications for this. And then you contract with the factory to ship you a product. You could buy as little as, I think it's the minimum factory order is something around $4,000 or $5,000. So when you're doing a physical product, your investment's going to total be $5,000 to $7,000. That's not the worst thing that ever happened to somebody that had a really great idea that they wanted to do.
Yeah, that's not that bad.
So that's another idea from what if you built a laptop cover that had solar panels on the top of it that hooked into the connector on a MacBook. So what if the cover for the laptop you just set it outside, or you set it in a room, and the cover just went right on top of the Mac, and it could charge without being plugged in. Well, maybe it's a small charge.
You just triggered me, Rob. Okay, here's one that I've always wanted. What if someone built a laptop screen that you could actually see outside while you're in the sun?
Absolutely.
That's a great. Oh, that'd be great.
A whole company made a ton of money by making laptop screen covers where if you were sitting on a plane, no one else could see your screen except for you looking directly at the screen.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
So there you have it. Everybody, I'm not going to sit here any longer and come up with 1,000 more ideas for you. You can think of ideas. Think of devices that connect to a phone. Don't think of the Apple Watch. The Apple Watch is for people that want to wear a watch that connects to their phone. Remember Fitbit and Jawbone Up and a bunch of other products were fitness related that plugged into the phone. But there are a lot of other things that people could wear that would connect and send information to the phone. They could be health related. They can be diabetes related. You could have it prick and then send whatever information it has to the phone. Maybe that's already been built, but boy, there would be room for more of that for diabetes patients. And then it would automatically update their phone and give them a log of what their sugar levels have been, or insulin levels, or whatever. I don't even know how to say these things, but I already know that there are business opportunities in the healthcare arena where something on your body talks to something on your phone, and the whole thing can be built for far less than you think it could be built for. And for those of you that are risk takers with physical products, amazing opportunities exist. Microphones for podcasters, gear for podcasters. And don't be shy about thinking of ideas, and don't think that if you announce an idea to the rest of the world, someone's going to steal it. No one's ever going to do anything like this, because for most people, this kind of stuff is way too scary. If someone wants to write into the show and tell us, well, they found a resource for this, or they found an idea about this, Jason, how can they call into the show and leave a voicemail?
They can call it 520-955-6286.
You can also text me a question for the show at 304-281-8332. I'll write you back. We'll start a little conversation about your business. I'd love to hear from you. I always love hearing from listeners of the show and people building online businesses to be successful. And you can also find us at ideasforonlinebusiness.net, where you can find show episodes, training, and little classes about how to do some of the things that we talk about here, and even a contact form on the website where you can ask us a question and we'll answer it on the air. I'm Rob Booker, and on behalf of our producer, Jason Piles, you're listening to the Ideas for Online Business podcast.